With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James.
This is a serious business, and I don't feel like there would be like a thought of I'm just drafting this kid just because of I'm gonna get his dad. Like I don't think a GM would really allow that. So yeah, I've never really thought about like I think I've put in the work and I'd get drafted because of.
Congrats to the James family, man. We can officially say LeBron James has had one of the craziest, most outstanding careers in his life. To play over 20 years and to be able to play with your son is at a high level, too.
So it's officially official, y'all. In the second round with the 55th pick, the Los Angeles Lakers drafted LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, and he is the newest member of the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I knew that this was gonna happen. And as a basketball fan, as a basketball purist, I'm excited. I mean, we've never seen a father-son duo play together in the NBA. I mean, LeBron James has been in the league for 21 years. 21 years. He's 39 years old. He's been in the NBA longer than he's not been in the NBA. He is a staple in NBA history. And now one of the greatest players we've ever seen in history is gonna be able to play side by side with his son in the NBA. Like, the storylines are gonna be crazy. The gameplay is gonna be crazy. Like, it's just gonna be so much aura surrounded around this season and around the Lakers. So as a basketball fan, I'm excited to see how it looks. I'm excited to see how Bronny's gonna develop, what he'll look like throwing lobs to LeBron, like what the storylines are gonna be like. Not to mention the Lakers also hired JJ Reddick. So there's just gonna be a lot of storylines and aura surrounding the Lakers this season. But as a true Lakers fan, and as someone who's honestly invested in seeing Bronny have a successful career and achieve his dream of what he said himself was to make a name for himself, I'm a little bit conflicted by this. Let's get into it. So there's like this weird split between people who are super happy about this situation with Bronny getting drafted to the Lakers, and then there are other people who are hating on it super hard. Now, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why. So about a month ago, I dropped a video called The Truth About Bronny James, and I basically broke down what it would look like for Bronny James to get drafted into the NBA. I discussed if he was actually an NBA caliber player, if he was just benefiting from nepotism. I pointed out how everybody in the world, and especially in the NBA, benefits from nepotism, and this isn't a special situation related to Bronny James or the James family. So I'm not gonna get too deep into nepotism, but I just wanna paint the picture of why some people are upset. So the people who are upset about this, non-Laker fans, just strictly basketball fans that are upset about this, are really just upset because they feel like either A, Bronny James isn't really an NBA level player, he's only benefiting from the fact that his dad is LeBron, and if his dad was not LeBron, he would not at all get drafted. They feel like he's not good enough to be in the NBA. Or B, they don't like the fact that his father, LeBron, has so much power that he was able to strong-arm the Lakers into drafting his son. Now, LeBron James had opted out of his contract this year, kind of insinuating to the Lakers that he may go to whatever team was willing to draft Bronny James, thereby kind of implying to the Lakers that if they were to draft LeBron James Jr., that LeBron would stay there, which of course is how it seemed to have played out. So a lot of people kind of resent the fact that LeBron was able to kind of force Bronny into the NBA. Now, those are the people who are hating on this situation. Now there are the people who are super excited about this situation of Bronny getting drafted to the Lakers. Again, not discussing Laker fans. These are just general basketball fans. The people who are super excited about Bronny getting drafted to the Lakers, I feel like are more happy for LeBron. Like, I feel like they're not even looking at this as like Bronny achieving his dream, Bronny getting to play in the NBA. Someone who just a year ago suffered from a cardiac arrest and is now able to play basketball on the highest level and start this new blossoming career and part of his life. I feel like they're not even looking at it like that. I feel like those people who are the most excited about Bronny being on the Lakers are people who are just like, oh, well, LeBron's the GOAT because he played with his kid now. Like, this is legendary. LeBron's the first player to ever play with his son in the NBA. Like, they look at Bronny as like, I get he is his son, but they look at Bronny as almost like a way to elevate LeBron legacy or LeBron's career. It's not about Bronny and his development. It's more about what Bronny playing with his dad means for LeBron and his legacy. Like, so there's this really weird split between people who are hating too hard for no reason and people who are a little too happy for no reason at the same time. Like, Bronny getting drafted does not make LeBron any greater of a player. Like, I don't understand why, like, that's kind of been the narrative surrounding this. Like, people are using this as a way to continue to elevate LeBron in their mind. Like, LeBron's already a great player. Him playing with his son is a great storyline, and it's a great thing to see because we haven't seen it before, but it doesn't magically make LeBron a greater basketball player. Like, you know what I mean? It's about Bronny being in the NBA, which I feel like people are losing sight of. So what I want to do is I want to sit down and break this down for you guys. I want to paint you the perspective of Bronny James and probably everyone on the Lakers who is not LeBron James Sr. or JJ Redick. I just want to paint a picture for you for what it might be like for them. First, let's start with Bronny James. Now, Bronny James, out of his own mouth, said that it was never really his dream to play with LeBron. It's always been LeBron's dream. LeBron has always said that he wants to play with his son in an NBA game.
Who do you want to play with?
Bronny is number one on my fucking list.
That's dope.
He's number one on my list that I want to play with for
You want him
sure.
to beat you? You think?
Nah, he can't beat me.
Hey, Bronny. Beat your daddy, man.
People made like a big thing about it. One time your dad was like, oh, it's like my dream to play with my son. But I don't know if like anybody had ever asked you, like, did you ever like dream about playing with your dad, like for you, or like what went to it from your perspective?
No, never.
Bronny, in his media day, said himself it was never his dream to play with LeBron James Sr. It was always his dream to make the NBA. And what he wanted most out of his own mouth and LeBron James's own mouth was that Bronny wanted to make a name for himself in the NBA. Now,
I said, I asked him, I said, what you want to do with this? Like you want to get to the pros? What you want to do? He's like, yeah. I said, why? He said, because I want to make a name for myself. And when I heard that, I was
That's
like,
more motivating than money.
Yeah.
I was like,
Legendary.
I love it. By the way, he changed his name to Bronny. I didn't.
Saying to your face is, I appreciate what you did.
But back to
but
fuck
I want
up.
to be me.
Yeah. And
You know, my dream has always just been to put my name out, make a name for myself, and of course, you know, get to the NBA, which I never thought about just playing with my dad, but of course he's brought it up a couple times. But yeah, I don't think about it much.
Now picture this. LeBron James Sr. is 39 years old. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Wherever you have him ranked, you have him ranked, but he's definitely one of the greatest, unquestionably, right? LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, is 19. He's a 19-year-old kid about to step into playing his first season of professional basketball. Now, put yourself in Bronny James's shoes. If you were 19 and you wanted more than anything to make a name for yourself because you don't want to be living in your father's shadow, is it me, or I would not want to immediately go and play on a team that my dad is the star of? Like, the narrative is already, by, like I said, a lot of haters that you aren't good enough to be in the NBA. You don't deserve to be in the NBA, and the only reason you're in the NBA is because of your dad. Now, I personally don't think that's true. I think LeBron James Jr. could be a quality role player. I think he is an NBA level talent, but a lot of people do not feel that way. So if, and knowing you're gonna hear this noise already, that a lot of people feel like you only got in because of your daddy, don't you feel like if you were Bronny, it would be kind of bittersweet to end up going to a team your dad was on? You remember when Austin Rivers was getting coached on the Clippers by his father, Doc? He got so much flack for that. And let's not forget, Austin Rivers was an All-American player. He was a lottery draft pick, and people were still crucifying him in the NBA, saying that he didn't deserve to be there and he was only getting paid because his dad was a coach. This is a guy who was a lottery pick. This was a guy who averaged double digits in college, and people were saying that. So what do you think the narrative is going to be around Bronny? A guy who, of course, dealt with an injury, a cardiac arrest, but averaged 4 points in college, didn't play most of the season, and now is drafted to the team that his dad is the star of. You know what I'm saying? Does he deserve to be on the team? Y'all let me know in the comments. I personally think he deserves to be in the NBA. Y'all let me know what you think. But if you are Bronny, like I said, if you're in Bronny's shoes and what you want more than anything out of your own mouth and your dad's own mouth was to make your own name for yourself in the league, it seems like going to the team that your dad is on would make that a little bit harder than you would have liked, right? Also, you're going to a team with a lot of veterans. I mean, the two best players are your dad and Anthony Davis, both guys 30 and older. You know what I mean? You got D'Lo on there, who's an older guy. The team is full of vets, and Bronny is a young kid. He's 19 years old. If I was Bronny, again, I'm not, but y'all let me know your line of thinking. I feel like I would want to go to a team that was full of young guys, a team like the Magic, a team like OKC. You want to go to a team that has a bunch of young guys your own age, so you can kind of grow together. Probably have more in common. You have the same similar interests. You know what I mean? Like, when you're going to a team full of veterans as a young guy, and again, this isn't just exclusive to Bronny, this is just any young guy. You don't fit in necessarily with the older generation who don't be on TikTok, who may be already married with kids and just have a completely different life than you. You probably want to be around a bunch of people your own age because, like I said, you guys have a lot more in common. I feel like that would be my line of thinking also if I were Bronny. Third, let's talk about the women. I mean, Bronny's 19, just got drafted to the NBA. He's probably looking to, doing his Doug Thistle. Is it not weird for you to try to be like a single bachelor stepping into adulthood, trying to, live your life, and your pops is right there, just like over your shoulder? Not saying LeBron would necessarily tell him what he can and can't do at this point, but it's just the principle, you know what I mean? It's the principle of, imagine you try to go out to the club and stuff, do what you do with these women, and your pops is just like, yeah, I'll see you at practice tomorrow, son. Like, that's not weird, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm Bronny, you gotta think, if you're in his shoes, bro, would you think? I would think it was weird. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. Like, I'm trying to do my thing. I'm trying to do what I do. I'm trying to live my life as a 19-year-old celebrity, and it feels like your dad is just behind you, watching every step you make. Now, segue a little bit away from Bronny. If you were another player, another starting caliber player on the Lakers, obviously if you're a bench player, you're just along for the ride. But if you're Anthony Davis, for example, I feel like this season for the Lakers have made it clear that it is not about winning. It's about being the Hollywood Lakers. It's about being Showtime. It's about selling tickets. I mean, LeBron James he might as well have just been the player coach. He went and got JJ Redick, and now his podcast mate, who is now the head coach of the team, they used their second round pick to draft Bronny James, which I also want to point out, I don't think is that big of a deal. The 55th overall pick usually doesn't pan out to be some super great player, and it's not like the Lakers passed up on like a all-star caliber player potentially to draft Bronny. Like, he was probably the best available player on the board at pick 55 anyway. So if they could use a flyer on a guy that is the son of the superstar you wish to keep, it just kind of makes sense. If they would have drafted him in the first round instead of Dalton Connect, who I do think was a pretty good draft pick, I think that would have been way more like contentious than where they actually drafted him. He kind of fell to them, and I felt like, it was worth its flyer. It was worth a flyer. Maybe they'll send him to the G League to develop a little bit. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to stay on the roster because that's probably where, the family wants him at. Let's leave it at that. But the 55th overall pick, the best 55th overall pick ever is Patty Mills. You know what I mean? Like Etuan Moore. Like, that's the type of guy you're talking about. It's never turned into a superstar caliber player anyway. So the fact that they drafted Bronny with the 55th overall pick, I think is just like, I don't feel like there was someone whose opportunity was really stolen by that pick, which is what I feel like a lot of people are trying to make it seem. I don't feel like that's really the case. But again, like I was saying, if you're someone like Anthony Davis and you look at LeBron's podcast mate and JJ Redick becoming the head coach, LeBron's son getting drafted, it seems like this is all about appeasing LeBron. This is all about the James show and, selling tickets. It's all about being Hollywood. I feel like if I were someone like Anthony Davis, I personally wouldn't want to be a huge part of this. It seems theatrical. It seems like we're more in the business of just entertaining than we are in actually winning. And if my goal is to win, increase my own legacy, and win championships, it feels like the Lakers have made it clear that that is not their priority. I mean, because first and foremost, I was cool with Darvin Ham getting fired, but getting JJ Redick isn't about to save the Lakers. I mean, JJ Redick has no coaching experience at all. I mean, he coached a 4th grade team a couple years ago once, you know what I mean? And now he's the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, the biggest brand in basketball. So he's not about to magically save the Lakers. If I'm the Lakers front office, I would think that the main order of business would be shoring up the roster, to be trying to get some of these free agents. You would think the Lakers should be in the talks about PG. You'd think they'd be trying to make moves, but instead they're trying to hire LeBron James' podcast mate as their new head coach and draft his son. The priority is more to sell tickets and to be entertaining than it is about winning. And I feel like if I was another member on the Lakers team, I would be looking at this kind of sideways. Like, as a true Lakers fan, that's why I'm so conflicted, because on the one hand, I'm excited for Bronny. I'm glad he gets to live out his dream and has the opportunity to carve out a whole new legacy for himself in the NBA. But on the other hand, I feel like him being drafted to the Lakers on the same team as his dad is gonna make making a name for himself way harder. And it kind of feels like the Lakers as an organization overall are more interested in being entertaining than actually winning championships. And I want to see us win a championship. But y'all let me know what you think. Are you excited to see LeBron and Bronny play together? I do think it'll be entertaining to watch. Personally, y'all let me know if you think that it'll be interesting. Let me know if you think that Bronny doesn't deserve to be in the league, if you wish he would have been drafted to another team, if you think that the Lakers are going to win it all now that they got JJ and Bronny together. Do you think that JJ is the coach to help the Lakers out? Y'all let me know your thoughts, opinions, whether you loved it or hated it. Thanks for rocking out with your boy. This is Zoe, and we're out of here. Thank you for watching another episode of The Last Word. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below so you're not missing out on any of the new content I drop on the channel. Love.